foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. Grenada belongs to all of us, and we must work extremely hard, but also smart, to build this place, to transform this place we call home. I want to say to those on Facebook and YouTube, please share the live. Sharing is caring. I want to start off by saying, do not trust a person who wants what you have. Do not trust a person who wants what you have, or a party who wants what you have, or your opponents. Do not play nice with them. Do not treat them as equals. Do not believe by you treating them nicer than they treated you when you were in opposition or nowhere, just an opposition party. They treated you rough. But you come now and you believe that you can treat them differently, you can treat them nice, and maybe they will be nice to you. No way. Do not believe for one moment that you're going to get them to change their wicked ways or their bad ways or their evil intent or evil intentions. It will not happen. And we are seeing it showing up obviously now. Those on the opposition side, those who are in the NNP, they won their seat, but their party did not form the government. So the Peter David, the Kate Lewis, the Emlyn Pair, the Keith Mitchell, the Clarice Modeste, they want to come back in power. They want what the NDC has. They want to be ministers of government again. And they're desperate for it. You cannot close your eyes on them or try to treat them nice. They will crush you if you attempt to do so. Because treating them nice means that they would take all of these things that you're giving them and they would come back and bite you with it. They're going to beat you with your own whip. So do not try to play nice with these people. Your political enemy wants your job. They want to get back into government, and they will do everything to get back into government. All you need to do is to listen to them attentively on their political platforms, at the party meetings or branch meetings, and you would realize that they are no good. They are not genuine. They are not sincere. They pretend in the parliament and in official settings that they are genuine and that they're sincere and that they love Grenada and so on. No, no. Don't believe that at all. So you invite them when you go to their constituencies where government is having projects, official projects and so on, sword turning ceremony, or doing things in their constituency, you invite them. Why? Why are you inviting them? In fact, they are using it now as campaign slogans, campaign videos, campaign reels. You don't have to invite these people. In fact, when NDC lost the election in 2013, there were over 100 projects that they got the approval for, and programs. All the drawings were done, all the finances were secured, but not once did the NNP invited the NDC to come to any of the events where they started these projects or completed these projects. The NNP took all the credit for those projects. But now you see a situation where the NDC is in power. There are one or two projects that the NNP secured because government is a continuum, but the NDC is playing nice to invite these people to some of these openings and sword turning ceremonies and closing of these projects and so on. And they're turning around on their political platform or their political meetings and blast the government and say all manner of things. It's their project and they signed this and they got the financing and they got that and all kind of stuff for it. But when NDC lost in 2013, it was a different ball game. They never invited the NDC to these events and activities. So I am warning the NDC to say to them, do not be fooled by these split personalities coming from the NNP members of parliament. They don't mean well. They don't want you to survive in this political warfare. They want power and they will take it at all cost. You have to be forewarned. You have to be wiser in dealing with these people. And that is why a caller sometime recently said the $10,000 constituency allowance should not be given to these people. They should have to find their way to raise funds to take care of their constituency. Because the NNP will never do that. They would never give the opposition any constituency allowance or any assistance whatsoever. They would not, because they see them as their competition. They will crush their competition. They ruled by having people to fear them. We saw that within the Royal Grenada Police Force. The majority of senior officers feared Keith Mitchell. Within the prison services, the senior officers, they feared Keith Mitchell and the NNP and some ministers, and same thing in government departments. They were ruling by a decree of fear. They made people fear them, afraid of them. Because you see, fear tends to get people to do certain things. That is why the point was made. There were a lot of public officers acting. Why? They were acting because NNP the NNP administration, the Keith Mitchell-led administration, knew that if you're acting, you have to play to the politicians. You have to suck up to the politicians. You will be more loyal that way because you want to become permanent. So you always have to be acting, thinking that you're going to become permanent, hoping that you're going to become permanent in that position. So all of these people were acting, and they were very loyal to Keith Mitchell and the NNP, in my belief. Very, very loyal. Because they fear if they're not loyal, then they can be removed from the acting position and another person would be placed there. And that was the game being played with a lot of public servants. But now they are being regularized. So there's a certain level of independence that will come, and they will become disrespectful. A lot of them will become disrespectful to ministers of government or the prime minister. You will see that stepping in because they no longer have to worry. They are appointed by the Public Service Commission. They could be lazy. They could do all kind of stuff and no consequences, because getting rid of a public servant who is appointed by the Public Service Commission is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So I am saying you cannot be nice with your opponent, with those who you beat, because they still want what you have, what you took from them. And I see it every single day. There are police officers who I know who make it very clear that they are loyal to Keith Mitchell and the NNP only. And I see today that some of them got promotion, some of them got even more senior positions within the Royal Grenadier Police Force to execute and so on. And ministers of government, not even, because they knew, right? They don't understand these people. They're going to pretend that they're nice around you. But they're not. They're not. You heard in a meeting last night where a certain individual said, this person from Nawasa came and tell him that some price increase is to come and that the government doesn't like poor people, right? Somebody within Nawasa, a senior person within there went and tell him even before anything happened, that this is what they intend to do. Raise the water if it's by 1 cent or 2 cents or whatever the amount to keep Nawasa afloat or so. So you have public officers, right, who will leave even before something come into life, into reality, into fruition. They would go and tell that man everything. They're going to report to him because they are loyal to him, because they feared him all their life. They still fear him even if he's not there. So I am saying to the NDC, do not play nice with these people. NNP supporters are the same as those MPs on the NNP side. Don't believe that they want Grenada to succeed. Don't believe that they want you to succeed. Every single thing that you started, you pioneered. They beat it down, they fight it down. Even the independence celebration, even our 50th independence celebration, they were never in accordance with it. They were never supportive of it. They pretended that they were. You don't have to invite these people to nothing. Leave them out. That is how you have to treat these people. If you want to continuously defeat them, you have to treat them that way. Yes, you have to do that. Let them go on air and complain that they got their salary late, those NNP MPs. Let them go and complain that they got this late and that late, or they were not invited to this event or that event. Pressure them. You increase their money, their salary to $5,000, What you think will happen? They are now so emboldened, so empowered, so happy that they could turn around and curse you. And that is what we are seeing. They're turning around and curse government. They're turning around and say all nasty things about the government. I am politically savvy. I follow all the meetings of the NNP because these days everything is recorded. And I listen attentively. Most mornings when you're sleeping at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I will get up and I will listen for 2 hours or an hour, the entire meeting and what was discussed, because it's public. But you would not take the time to listen to the entire thing. And I would glean from that, you know, the intentions, the behavioral pattern and everything else, the thinking, the mindset. They don't like the NDC. They don't like the most honorable Deacon Mitchell. They don't like the government. They don't want the government to succeed. They want power. And they will do so to get it at all cost. I am warning the NDC. I am warning those ministers of government. Do not play nice with these people. They are not your political friends. They are your rivals. They want what you have. They want your work. They want to be ministers of government. Don't play nice with them. They don't like you. They wish you bad. They don't want you to succeed. All you need to do, go and listen to their meetings and the rhetoric and the things that they would say on their political platform. Just go and listen to it. Take some time. Don't green teeth with them and smile with them and pretend that they like you and they want you to succeed. You're joking. They don't. They don't like you. They don't want you to succeed. And that is why my position is, I will crush my competition. I will crush my opponents politically. I don't want them to survive politically. I'm crushing them. Because if they get the chance, they would not only crush me, they would crush all my offsprings, all my roots. They're killing all of that. Politically, they don't even want my grand or great-grand to survive that. You're mad. They're coming after everything. So you have to be very, very careful because you have supporters. In fact, they are on their platform saying that the NDC is losing support from its base, from its people who supported, who voted for them, because those supporters not getting the attention, they're not getting the assistance, they're not getting the help and so on that they should get. You hear me? So the NNP, those MPs who collected now $5,000 a month, right? $5,000 a month and $10,000 constituency allowance. They are now going on their political platforms, in their political meetings, and saying openly that NDC supporters, the base of the NDC, that a number of them are not happy, a number of them, they are bitter, they're angry, right? Because the NDC MPs, right? The NDC MPs and government ministers are not paying heed to the base support, the core support, to help them, to help their supporters, so that their supporters can be happy. You hear me? They're emboldened. Right now, they feel that they're in thing because they're getting $5,000 every month, $10,000 constituency allowance. They're invited to all sod-turning ceremony, all events, all activities, right? Anything government have in their constituency, they're informed, they're invited, they're as though it's theirs. And then they're going back and say on the political platform, well, they had to invite me because it's our project. We get it. We secure it. That's how they're acting. As though government have to invite these people? You don't have to be invited. Don't fool yourself. The government don't have to invite the opposition in anything, you know. I am speaking to you, warning you to be very, very careful that you don't make the same mistake as the NDC of 2008 to 2013. The politics is what's important. You can govern, you can do certain things. That's great. As a government, great. But the politics, watch what's happening. If you have a vision, if you could see politically, because some people cannot see politically, you would realize that we have a lot of NDC supporters, right, who are not happy. And they don't want anything. They ain't asking for anything. They just want to see the NDC take care of their own, take care of their supporters, listen to their supporters, and be there for their supporters. Because, let me tell you this, when the NNP was in power, the people who are police officers and supported them, they gave them rank over those NDC presumed, right? Presumed, or they believed that these police officers were NDC supporters. Then like Keith and the NNP. So they never gave these people rank. They gave their supporters rank over and over and over again, right? When the NDC won the election, they tried to usher in this new approach where it's about merit, it's about you owning that and you showing leadership here, and the NNP didn't used to do it so. And NNP got the loyalty of the police force for all these years. They were loyal to the NNP, even if the people who they presume was NDC, they were not getting rank and so on, but they had to toe the line. They had to toe the line. Then you look at the prison services, same thing. So while we want to usher in a new system, a new way of promotion, and a new way of doing X and doing Y, you got to be gradual. You got to promote your people, your supporters. Look for your supporters within the different ministries. Promote them, support them, give them what they should have been given plenty years ago. You go in villages and so on, and you have supporters. They may not have been, college graduates and so on, right? And university graduates. Do not forget these people. Do not believe that you need to always have a person who is a university graduate in a position or a college graduate in a position. They might be able to do the job, right? They're among us. They might be able to do the job and maybe do it even better based on experience and based on certain things. So don't see it as you have to be a first degree graduate and Mr. this and Mr. that. Yes, you would look for people who are qualified academically too, but you got to be gradual in your approach. You have to look for your people, though they may not be academically qualified with first degree and second degree and doctorate and doctor this. You have to look for your people to support them and make sure that they're happy too. That's politics. That is politics. There are things I will never say. You hear me? Because people relate things to me. Ordinary supporters of the NDC. And I would never say on air those things. But I know there are a lot of supporters who are not happy with certain things. Because the NNP lose, they win. the NNP win, they win. Their supporters are still enjoying everything, and even better in some instances. We have to put our feet down and look for our people. I am not saying that you have to give them the whole hog or the entire pie. If you have $10, give your supporters 8 or 7, and you would share the rest for the others. But prioritize your people, deal with your people, support your people, make sure that they're happy. Because the NNP, all you need to do is to listen to them at their branch meetings, at their political meetings, and you will realize they don't want NDC to survive. They don't want NDC to succeed. They don't. They're not interested in that at all. They want what NDC has. You have to put your foot down. You have to become tougher to deal with these people and to make sure that your people are okay. It's what it is. Don't try to play Mr. Nice and Miss Nice. They're going to come back to haunt you. Don't do that. No. And I am speaking this morning because I am observant. I listen to their meetings. I follow what is happening keenly. You hear me? And them NNP and them, they're not going to change easy. Don't play nice with them. And don't pretend that they're on board with you and they want you to succeed. Don't pretend that. Then you're naive. They want what you have. You hear me? They want your job. They want your ministry. They want your work. And look, for example, case in point. You invite the MP for a particular constituency to the sod turning ceremony. She did not even acknowledge her competition, who is the caretaker for the NDC for that constituency. Just think about it. They didn't have to invite her. She didn't have to be there. No. But they invited her. The person who ran against her, yes, she lost. But that person was there with the government, on the government side. You gave the MP the opportunity to come to the sod turning ceremony and speak. She did not even, she recognized everybody, but not her competition, the person who she ran against. And yes, she beat that person, but not by much. She never even recognized her. Not only that, she then goes to her political meeting last night. And you hear what she said? You didn't hear what she said? She said that they had to invite me. It's our project. It's NNP, an NNP project. And we secured the financing, and we did the joints, and we did this. And most of what she said is a mess. She's a stranger of the truth. She concocted all those stories, all this stupidness, in my belief. But it's a big campaign thing. Her supporters, they say, yes, man. Yes. They are not genuine. Don't play nice with these people. They're going to come back and knock you out. You have to stand firm. You have to stand firm. You see what's happening in the NNP now? I put in more wood under the fire. I want to see that party turn a GULP. I want to see the end of that. I want to see it in the center cemetery. You think I have sympathy for these people? So when Hamlet Mac published what he published, I call him because I want him to talk. Say, go on all programs if you have to and say all kind of things about them. Because don't believe that he's doing these things by accident. No, don't believe so. He knows what he's doing. He realizes that his boy Peter seemed to be getting kicked under the bus, and he also believes that Peter not going to get the leadership unless there is some big fight, right? And time running out on both of them. Time already expired on Keith Mitchell, but time running out on Peter. He knows that, so he's out there doing his due, and he's tactical, the timing. You see, for me, I interviewed him, but I know, I'm no fool. I know what's going down. So he's all over on the press, all over. I think he's on GBN this morning. He's all over. Nothing wrong with that. I'm glad he's doing that. That's great. But I want to put a lot of wood under that pot. I want real problems in that camp. And I'm glad to see what is happening within there. Let them fight. You think I have sympathy for these people? But it must also be the same thing within government, within the Royal Grenadier Police Force, within the prison, within government departments, even within the constituency, the way you distribute work to your supporters. Look for your supporters and give them the work. Give them the work. And don't make it difficult for them to get the work and get those things. Help them if you have to help them to get it. Some of them may not be academically bright like you or somebody else, but you have to help them because they are so key a supporter. You have to help them to get the damn work. Look, I give you a real example. I was the focal point, the person responsible for an ACP EU project in Riverside, in Rose Hill, and a couple other places, but in Rose Hill. And there were construction aspect or component of that project, flood mitigation work to be done, and the procurement and, purchasing of equipment, telecommunication equipment and so on for that area just in case. But here it is. The person who, because it was an open process, you have to bid, right? Open bidding process. This person who called me there. All right, good, you cut off. Glad, because I was going to tell that person, don't call me at this point in time. There was an open bidding process. And a number of NNP applied for the work, applied for to win the bid, to do the job. But there was an NDC person who was not that bright academically. I am no fool. I decided I will bring that person down to my office and I would help that person to prepare what must be prepared and submit it. I am no fool. While there were other people who said, oh, it's an open process, you can this and you can that. Not me. No. Eventually, the person got through. Yes. Because I am not no fool. So not every time you have to base it on academics or you have to base it on how much money the person has. You hear me? Sometimes you have to become so loyal to your people that you have to assist them to get there. Why you think I am assisting some of my colleagues and friends like this? I would play the ads, tell you about the cleaning this and the landscaping this and that. Because I am a loyal camper. I don't have patch. There are people who I know who reach out to me and they say, Kem Jones, but I get a little work, But I need to get some material to do X, do Y. And they could attest to that. And I would say to them, look, I go lend you, give me back. Said I don't have much. And I might be lending them from resources that I have to use to do things like the radio and so on, I'm lending them to make sure that they get the work do the work, and survive. That is how loyal I am and how solid I am. Because I'm not going to get it back. Solid. Because I understand what it takes to build relationships and build friendships and maintain your core support. The politics has to be the same thing totally. You have to look for your people and make sure that they are taken care of. It's not everything about that person is Mr. This and they go to this university or that university and they bright and who the hell cares about that now? When it comes to winning an election, every damn vote counts. You hear me? That is why during the NNP time, they were giving vagrants NNP t-shirts. Some of them, they brought them to vote. And some say, well, where they going with that crazy person? Where they going with that? They brought them to vote. You hear me? It is what it is. So I am saying you have to go back to the drawing board and reconnect with your supporters and help your supporters. Don't matter what, even if you have to spend extra time helping them to get there, to get the contract, to get the work, to get the support, to get certain things. You have to look for your people. You have to, because the NNP, right? The NNP is now smiling because they have $5,000 they get in every month. Those MPs, $10,000 constituency allowance, right? They could do thing here. Yeah. And they have their loyal supporters within government departments. You know, let me tell you something. You see me? I am a guy who people underestimate in this place. Let me get comfortable. You know, there was a particular request for some MPs, right? And they pinpoint certain key people. There is some money extra from the budget, you know, for material assistance and so on, right? So a number of people submitted names and people to get. You know, a particular person submitted about 10 names. Good, genuine people. Huh? And out of that, there was only one NNP. Who you think got material assistance? Only that person. Let me tell you how that person got material assistance. That person works in a ministry. And the people who are handling that thing saw that person's name. Right? The person's mother's name. But the person is a reference. And they decided to call that person and they got the material first. Nobody else in that 10 got except that person. To date. You hear me? Nobody else. And the other 9, they're NDC supporters. You hear me? So folks, and I use these things as learning examples. Yes, the MP, you know, they called there and called this, well, get names and get this and get that. We're going to try to assist and help. But they, after that, that's it. No follow-up, no making sure that your people got or receive. You see? The people who get it, because the NNP is within all of those departments. They're in all those departments, in government departments and so on. All about, they're there still. Remember, NNP was in power for 20-something years. So they build loyalty over the many years. They're there. I know what I am talking about. I'm not guessing this thing. So you have to be very mindful of that and careful. You got to look for your people and make sure that they're happy. A friend said over the weekend, one thing he knows, in politics, if you get a vote, you want to maintain that vote. And you want to get new ones. So you have to keep what you have. You can't tell me that you're not going to keep what you have, but go and fight for another. You must keep what you have. So if they vote for you, you have to keep them and then add to it. But if you're subtracting and hoping to get that person on your side, then you're in problem. You have to keep what you have. So the people who voted for you, the people who supported you, the key people within the different constituencies, you have to look for them, you have to support them, you have to make sure that they're taken care of. Right? You have to. Some good initiatives pass, the minimum wage, for example, but there are supporters of yours who are working for very little and they have not seen that yet. They have not felt that yet. Who is following up to make sure that they get what they're supposed to get? I give you another example. There's a gentleman who reached out to me, right? He said, well, look, he has been living on a piece of government land for 32 years, right? And he overheard the government in an announcement saying that there were people who had difficulties in getting water, getting a pipe, because Nawasa was not giving them any water because they don't have title to the land or nothing of that sort, right? So he said he overheard government say, well, they're going to put the pipe in your name, in the person's name. You understand me? In the person's name, not the landowner. In this case, the landowner is the government of Grenada. The guy is a strong NDC, solid NDC. So I reached out, spoke to my good friend, and my good friend communicated with him, but then said, you need to go and get some letter from the ministry now to bring to Nawasa so that Nawasa could come and put a pipe. But the government made it very clear that they're putting the water in your name. So you don't need the landlord or the owner of the land permission to get water. A strong NDC man, you know. All he needs is just to put a pipe, a stand pipe. You hear me? So he came back to me and I said, but no, I thought you got the water already. And then he showed me, said, well, look, they said, go there and get this letter. This man now find it very difficult to just go and get this letter thing. And there's no guarantee when you go to the ministry, they're going to give him any letter. Because you're dealing with a whole pile of NNP people inside there. Not only that, the government said that they're going to put the water in the name of the person. Why Nawasa have to tell that person, well, no, we're not giving you. You have to get some documentation from the government saying that you could get a standpipe on the land to get water. Water is human rights. It's a human right. You understand the point? So this NDC person now is saying, but wait, we hear government policy and something as simple as that. Nawasa is saying, nah, you still have to get this and you still have to get that. You hear me? So sometimes we have to be very careful. Very, very careful. So an announcement was made about passport going up to 10 years. Right? There are people looking forward to that. But what should have been said, well, the government will pass a law or make some amendments, and when that is done, then the passport will go up to 10 years. Right? Because there are people who are going there thinking that they could get the passport for 10 years, and then they tell them, no, they say, well, but the government says so. But you understand what I'm saying? So sometimes miscommunication. So you have a strong supporter. All the man needs is some water, you know, a pipe. Nawasa will tell him, well, you have to go there, and go there, you can't get it because the land. And government said there are people who are on government land, on all kind of land. The landlord not giving you permission to get the water. So they're going to give you water because water is life. Nawasa should not prevent these people from getting the water. No. So sometimes these little things could make people say, well, I don't voting for you again, I ain't supporting you again. These little things, but hear this. This gentleman, he said, nah, man, he said, he has patience. He said he been on the land for 32 years, jogging water. But he said now that he walking and he owning something, he wants to put his own water. He has to go through hell just for that. You understand the point? Little things like that could cause people to be blue and angry. They don't want to see you. They want to hear you. Little things like that. So we have to be very careful. Very, very careful. So while we want to be seen as fair and equitable and doing things for everybody, we need to also focus on our people, our supporters. That's politics 101. Some people may not like it, but that's the reality. And I'm speaking to you so you can take heed. Because I have been here in this politics more than a lot of these people. You hear me? I'm not new to this. I'm a ground dove. I operate on the ground. And I understand the ordinary people who support you. You got to take care of them. They may not be doctor this, first degree qualified, second degree, and have all these big academics up their sleeve. But they will be respected in the community. People like them, and people, let me tell you this. People have a way of getting to dislike you. If they expect a person in the community who they know campaign with you, support you, work hard for you, and they realize they ain't getting nothing. Not the person that vex, the most, Let me tell you who vex. The people in the community. You hear me? In that village, they more vex than the person who not getting the little assistance, the little help, That's what normally would happen. They saw that person campaign with you. They saw that person work hard for you. They saw that person, do all kind of stuff for you to get into power. So the expectation for that person is very high. They expect that person to get help, get this, get that. And when they realize that person not getting the help, they get vexed with you, you ain't do them nothing, personally. But they get vexed with you, the MP or the member of parliament. You ain't do them nothing, You asking someone, what do that person? Is what you didn't do for that person in the constituency, in that village, who work for you, who campaign for you, who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to see you win. And they're now waiting and watching you. Because they seen all kind of NNP getting contract and getting this and getting that and getting this and getting that. And you're even looking at them. You hear me? This is very, very, very real. And if you don't know, let people who know tell you. You don't mess with that. Government is performing well. The government is doing well. But let us go back to focusing on our people. You hear me? I will defend the NDC every day. I will promote the NDC every day. But there comes a time when I have to speak to the NDC supporters and to speak directly to the MPs. Look, I will defend our beloved Prime Minister, the most honorable Deacon Mitchell. Who will do that more than me on this program and everywhere? People know me, but I want to see the NDC survive. I want to see the supporters of the NDC happy in the different villages, different departments and so on. Because the NNP laughing, they have it easy. They have it easy, everything nice for them. We have to put down our feet. We have to put down our feet. Don't believe that with the chaos and all the melee that the NNP have inside the camp, it means that, it's a walk in the park for us. No. You got to look for your people. You hear me? Look for your people. Don't make that mistake. Our supporters are there. You have some that have all kind of degrees, and there are those who don't. But they could do the work. They could do X and they could do Y. Don't forget these people. Don't make the mistake. You hear me? You have to crush your enemies. Don't fool yourself politically. You have to crush your enemies. This is our political warfare. You can't be too nice with these people. No matter what. You can't be too nice with these people. You have to step up. You hear me? Because, as that gentleman said, you have to keep what you have and gain more. You can't be losing what you have and believe that you're going to gain more. It's not going to happen. You hear me? So if you won and you got 1,500 votes, you want to keep that and you want to gain more. So you have to come up with ways and means of gaining more. But you must first work on keeping what you have. At least if you run again, you're going to get that. And your opponent that you beat will have to work even harder to gain more, to come up to meet your numbers. This thing is common sense. You don't need to be a genius to understand this. That's politics. You have to secure that and make sure that your people are happy. Because, let me tell you this. Don't worry with some people, you know. There are some people who say, well, they this and they that. The NNP, inside, they're tricking you. They're pretending. You hear me? They're pretending they could turn into all kind of things just to get what they want. We have to put our feet down. Some people may not like it, but you see, this message this morning is one for the converted, is one for the MPs on the government side, and one for those in the different constituencies, at the different constituency offices, at, those different levels. You have to look for your people. You have to look for your people. I remember some months ago, a gentleman was looking for some workers, right? Strong NDC man. He got a contract, I think with the private sector, not government. And he called me. He said, Kem Jones, I know you go know some NDC people who need work. He said, I'm checking you first. You hear me? You hear me? So there are some of our supporters who understand the politics. And I said to him, I said, give me up to today, and I won't get the 15 names for you. You hear? I am saying to you, that is how politics works. That's what it is. That's how politics work. Politics in itself is a science. You hear me? So we have to look for our people. I am not saying to you that you have to give, if you have $10, you have to give the NDC all $10. No. Maybe sometimes you have to give them all 10. But there will come a time when you're going to give them 7 and you're going to share the 3. Right? Or you're going to give them 8 and share the 2. It's what it is. But we have to wake up and look for our people and make sure that things are good. There is enough to make sure that everything is good. Because all the big projects, right, they're all nice. They're all wonderful. But politics is a down-to-earth science. It's a simple thing. You have to be down there. It's a numbers game, yes, but you have to focus on your people to build that number, to maintain that number and build it. All right? So I thought I should speak about that. this morning. That was not the thing I planned to speak about here. No. Nope. I have a number of things that I had to speak to you about, but I had to pull out that one. You know, I was going through this whole thing and, you know, and I was wondering, because what I was going to talk about this morning is why the NNP hate the people in the diaspora so? Huh? Why they hate them so? You ever wondered why they hate them people in the diaspora, the NNP? Why the NNP hate the people in the diaspora so? Listen this. That's what I wanted to talk about. Roland Bola.
With the diaspora. You ever wonder why everything they talk about is the diaspora? Why they always flying away? Big conferences, meetings, fete, every time. Fete in London, fete in Canada, fete in New York, fete in Florida, everywhere. Because they are expecting these people to come back here, get registered, and just like they gave them free plane tickets for independence, they will get free plane tickets to come back for it.
Pure lies, a lot of lies. That's Roland Bola. Pure lies. But I wondered why they hate the people in the diaspora so as though the people in the diaspora are not Grenadians. I am asking myself, you know, attack upon attack on the people in the diaspora.
But remember, there are laws that govern the electoral process. And the law is clear. I am not a lawyer, but it's clear for me to understand and you to understand that unless you are residing in the country for 12 consecutive months, you are not qualified to participate in the electoral process.
That's a blatant lie. All right? Folks, that's a blatant lie. And here it is. You think they don't know what they're doing? But they're not going to scare the people in the diaspora. But I wondered why they always attacking the people in the diaspora, the NNP. Why? Why they the diaspora? And not only him, you know. No. You listen to Keith Mitchell and you realize what's going on. Listen to Keith Mitchell last night.
Guarantee and all kinds of stuff. And claiming that if you need guarantee, the government go ahead. Why the government will go guarantee for everybody? That don't make any sense. So why you doing it in the first place? If you provide a guarantee, give them the download sometime. What's the point? So that's another tomfoolery. So here again, the poor man has to suffer. Because you know what will happen? You check it out. When the time comes, and these houses are getting me, you're going to see some people, some might be living in London, some might be in New York, in Miami, and they will buy the houses and rent it out. While the poor people in the real Caribbean people will not be able to get what is there by their December.
That's Keith Mitchell. They're talking about the houses, the Chinese houses, right? Telling them, man, use words to the effect. Well, when they start to distribute the houses and so on, then people in England, then people in Miami, New York, wherever, they will come and buy the house out and they will rent it out and they, you know, what's to that effect? Yeah, that's why they hate the people in the diaspora so by. I wonder, you know. I remember previous elections, you know how many people used to leave America and come down and vote for the same NNP? Yes, but all of a sudden, they just turn on the people in the diaspora. They hate the people in the diaspora all of a sudden, so? Well, what is this? But here it is, folks. Roland Bola think he's smart. If you look at the laws that govern people getting registered in Grenada and voting in Grenada, it's very simple, you know. In Part 3, under registration of electors, number 5, right of a person to vote. Subject to this act, a person is entitled to vote in an election in a constituency if on polling day he is qualified and registered as an elector in the constituency and his name appears on the current list to be used for that constituency. Don't make them fool you. As long as you are registered to vote, you can vote on election day. And you hear in that very clear definition there, right of a person to vote, unless he is qualified, but it speaks to what will disqualify a person. So let me tell you the entitlement. Let's move to 6. Entitlement to registration. Subject to section 7, right? A person shall be entitled. That's section 6 we are in here now. To be registered as an elector, a person who could vote in any one constituency. If he, 1, is a citizen of Grenada, 2, is a Commonwealth citizen who has resided in Grenada for a period, right? A period of at least 12 months immediately before the date of the election. But here it is a Commonwealth citizen. If you're a citizen of Grenada, it's a different ball game. A is a citizen of Grenada. B is a Commonwealth citizen who has resided in Grenada for a period of at least 12 months immediately before the date of his registration. That's Commonwealth. C has attained the age of 18 years, and D is ordinary resident in the constituency. So don't make them fool you. Once you are a Grenadian, you are entitled to register and entitled to vote. You remember that came up in a previous election already, And then the supervisor of election said, hello, with the lawyers, no. Once a person is registered and that person is a Grenadian, you are entitled to vote. You hear me? So don't make them fool you. They're too bright. And then it goes on, for the purpose of registration under this act and rule, a person is deemed subject to this act to reside in the polling division in which is ordinary resident immediately prior to his registration, right? So once you register, you reside, you visit Grenada, you come here, you have a house, you have a place here, you could register and you could vote. Nobody could stop you from doing so. You hear me? Nobody. And it speaks to what will disqualify a person from being able to vote. No person shall be entitled to register as an elector in any constituency who has been sentenced by a court in any part of the Commonwealth to death or to imprisonment for a term exceeding 12 months, right? Imprisonment for a term exceeding 12 months and has not either suffered the punishment as may have been substituted by a competent authority unless he received a free pardon. B is a person adjudged to be an unsound mind by a qualified medical practitioner. C has been detained as a criminal lunatic under any law in force in the state. Or D is disqualified for registration as an elector by any law enforced in the state relating to offenses connected with elections. So these things are very, very clear. Very, very, very clear. You know, they think that they can fool people. But as long as you are a Grenadian and you are registered, your name appears on the voting list, you have all right to vote. So you don't have to worry with these people. That is what the NNP have always done, to scare you. You're not a Commonwealth citizen. You're a Grenadian. This is your home. This is your homeland. No one could stop you from voting. You are a Grenadian. You could be in the United States. You could be in Canada. You could be in the United Kingdom. As long as you are a Grenadian and you are registered to vote, nobody could stop you from voting. You hear me? You heard me? Entitlement to registration. They can't stop you from registering. Subject to section 7, a person shall be entitled to register as an elector in any one constituency if he is a citizen of Grenada or a Commonwealth citizen who has resided in Grenada for a period of at least 12 months immediately before the date of his registration, has attained the age of 18 years, is an ordinary resident in a constituency, in that constituency, simply enough, and you can register and you can vote. You're a Grenadian. You're a citizen of Grenada. You're not a Commonwealth citizen first. No, you are a citizen of Grenada. That's why they say he's a citizen of Grenada. Or, so they're speaking to another category of people, or is a Commonwealth citizen. You understand the point? Who has resided in Grenada for a period of at least 12 months immediately before the date of his registration. So that's something totally, yeah. Look at oh yeah, tell her in a while. Tell her in a while I will get the ticket for because I don't sign it. Right? So just tell her give me a little time, yeah. Someone is over there for 2 tickets. All right. So I am saying, folks, they think they can scare you and fool you. Don't worry them. They can't. They cannot scare anybody or fool anybody. These things are easy. You just go and you get in the law. The law is online. Right? Thinking the people, the Representation of the People's Act, something like that. As the name, was it this thing is easy? Yeah, the Representation of the People's Act. I think it was amended in 2011, somewhere down there. Right? They amended a number of times, but I'm saying to you, they can't fool you and they can't fool me. You hear me? Once you are registered, you can vote on election day, even if you're coming here a month before, a week before. But folks, I want to thank you very much for being a part of the program. I want to wish you all the best. Somebody is out there, they want 2 tickets, for my event coming up on May the 31st. And I want to encourage you to buy the tickets. It's 50 EC at the Trade Center, celebrating 10 years in radio.